Chosen one, there is a hidden code in your life. Not a secret code in ancient books, but a subtle pattern, interwoven in the events that repeat, in the pains that insist on returning, in the situations that seem to have a predetermined script. And this code is not there to confuse you, but to reveal you. Have you ever felt like you were watching the same movie over and over again? The characters change, the scenery alters, but the central plot remains the same. Relationships that begin with hope and end in disappointment. Promises of prosperity that dissolve into frustration. A persistent feeling that something is missing, even when life seems to be on track. This is not destiny playing tricks on you. It is your soul sending you signals. Encoded signals that need to be deciphered so that you can finally break this cycle and move forward. Imagine that you are a navigator in a vast and unknown ocean. You have a map, but it is written in an ancient language that you do not understand. You keep sailing, but you always end up back at the same starting point, never reaching the solid ground you so desire. Spiritual cycles are like that ancient language. They contain the key to your growth, to your evolution, to your freedom. But to access it, you need to learn to decipher the code. What if I told you that there is a way to translate these signals? That it is possible to identify the hidden patterns, understand the message behind each repetition, and finally rewrite the script of your life. In this video, I will not offer you magical solutions or empty promises. I will provide you with the tools. The tools for you to become a decoder of your own story, so that you can look at your cycles not as obstacles, but as portals to a new reality. Prepare for a deep and transformative journey. A journey that will take you beyond appearances to the heart of your soul, where the power to change your destiny resides. You are not condemned to repeat the same patterns. You have the power to create a new narrative. And the first step is to understand the secret language of your cycles. Are you ready to unravel this code and unleash your maximum potential? Then this video is for you. And to not miss any content that helps you on this journey, follow the channel and turn on notifications. Your transformation begins with understanding. Spiritual cycles. The name may sound a bit mystical, perhaps even intimidating. But the truth is that they are much more common and human than we imagine. Think of them not as something esoteric, but as the GPS of your soul. An internal navigation system designed to guide you toward your growth, your evolution, your best version. Imagine that you are learning to drive. At first, you make mistakes. Perhaps you shift gears incorrectly, forget to signal, or have difficulty parking. These mistakes are learning opportunities. You correct them, try again, and over time, you become a more skilled driver. Spiritual cycles work in a similar way. They are situations, experiences, challenges that repeat in our lives, not to punish us or make us suffer, but to teach us. They are like classes that life offers us so that we can learn important lessons, heal emotional wounds, develop virtues, and ultimately blossom into our full potential. God, in His infinite wisdom, did not create us perfect. He created us with the capacity to evolve, to learn, to grow. And spiritual cycles are one of the tools He uses to guide us in this process. They are not punishments, but rather opportunities. Opportunities for us to become more aware, more compassionate, more resilient, more loving. Think about the challenges you face repeatedly. Perhaps it is a pattern of relationships that always end the same way, or a persistent difficulty in dealing with finances, or maybe a tendency to self-sabotage, to procrastinate important decisions, to let yourself be carried away by procrastination. These patterns are not coincidences. They are signs. Signs that there is something in you that needs to be transformed, something that needs to be healed. something that needs to be learned. Spiritual cycles are like a mirror that reflects the areas of our lives that need attention. They show us where we are stuck, where we are repeating the same mistakes, where we are resisting change. And by showing us this, they offer us the chance to do differently, to choose a new path, to grow. A powerful biblical example of this is the story of King David. David was a man after God's own heart, a courageous leader, and a talented poet. But he also made serious mistakes. One of his greatest mistakes was the adultery with Bathsheba and the subsequent murder of Uriah, her husband. God, through the prophet Nathan, confronted David with his sin. David, instead of justifying himself or hiding, acknowledged his mistake, deeply repented, and sought God's forgiveness. This was a turning point in David's life. He faced the consequences of his actions, but he also experienced divine grace and mercy. The cycle of sin, repentance, and restoration in David's life teaches us that even when we fail, even when we stray from the path, God offers us the opportunity to start over. He calls us to confront our mistakes, to learn from them, and to grow in wisdom and humility. Spiritual cycles, therefore, are not a dead end, but rather an invitation to look within ourselves, to identify the patterns that limit us, and to choose, with God's help, a new path, a path of growth, healing, and transformation. They are the GPS of the soul, guiding us toward our highest destiny. Have you ever felt that strange sensation of déjà vu? That moment when you are certain that you have lived it before, even though there is no logical explanation for it? In the context of spiritual cycles, déjà vu takes on an even deeper meaning. It is not just a curiosity of the mind, but a sign, a warning, a call to awaken. Imagine that you are watching a movie. At first you are engaged in the plot, curious to know what will happen, but suddenly, you realize that you have seen that movie before. You remember the scenes, the dialogues, the ending. The feeling of novelty disappears, and you feel trapped in a time loop. This is the feeling that often accompanies repetitive cycles in our lives. It is not just a fleeting déjà vu, but a repetition of situations, challenges, and emotions. It is as if life is showing us the same movie, hoping that this time we understand the message. But how do we identify these signs? How can we know if we are truly stuck in a spiritual cycle, or if they are just coincidences of life? The key lies in paying attention to the patterns. Think about your relationships. Do you notice that, regardless of the people involved, the conflicts, disappointments, and hurts tend to repeat themselves? Do you always attract the same type of partner, even if you consciously desire something different? Observe your finances. Are you living in a constant cycle of debt, difficulties, and scarcity? Do you strive, work hard, but it seems that money always slips through your fingers? Analyze your emotions. Do you often feel stuck in a cycle of sadness, anger, or anxiety? Do you always react the same way to certain situations, even if that reaction causes you suffering? These are just a few examples, but repetitive cycles can manifest in any area of our lives. They can be subtle, like an uncomfortable feeling of familiarity, or they can be more evident, like recurring problems that seem to chase us. But beyond the repetition of external challenges, there are also internal signs. That inner voice that tells you, "Here we go again." That feeling of frustration, of powerlessness, that you are going in circles. That emotional exhaustion of always dealing with the same issues. And perhaps the most important sign of all is intuition. That deep feeling coming from your heart, that there is something greater behind these repetitions. A sense that life is trying to teach you something, to show you something, to guide you to a new path. These signs, both external and internal, are not meant to discourage us or make us feel guilty. They are, in fact, a gift. A disguised gift, it is true, but a valuable gift. They are like beacons that illuminate the areas of our lives that need attention, healing, and transformation. God, in His infinite wisdom, does not abandon us in the midst of our challenges. He sends us signs, messages, cues to help us find our way back home, to our center, to our essence. And repetitive cycles are one of those forms of divine communication. They are an invitation for us to awaken, to look within, and to transform our lives. Now imagine that you are carrying a heavy backpack, full of stones. Each stone represents a hurt, a resentment, a guilt, an unresolved situation from the past. You walk with this backpack on your back, day after day, and the weight becomes increasingly unbearable. You feel tired, discouraged, and without the energy to move forward. This backpack is a perfect metaphor for what happens when we do not practice forgiveness and self-reflection. Spiritual cycles often have their roots in unhealed emotional wounds, in hurts that we keep in our hearts, in guilts that haunt us. And as long as we do not empty this backpack, as long as we do not release this weight, we will remain trapped in the same patterns, repeating the same mistakes, attracting the same painful situations. Forgiveness, in this context, is not an act of weakness or naivety. It does not mean approving what happened, nor justifying the other person's mistake, nor forgetting the pain we felt. Forgiving is above all an act of freedom. It is choosing not to carry the weight of the past anymore. It is deciding to free oneself from the chains of bitterness, resentment, and revenge. And forgiveness is not limited to others. Often, we need to forgive ourselves. To forgive for our mistakes, for our failures, for our imperfections. To forgive for not having been who we would have liked to be. For not having done what we would have liked to have done. Forgiving oneself is an act of self-love, compassion, and acceptance. But forgiveness alone is not enough. It must be combined with self-reflection. It is necessary to look within, with honesty and courage, and identify the patterns that need to be transformed. It is essential to understand why we attract certain situations, why we repeat certain behaviors, why we feel trapped in a cycle. Self-reflection is like a mirror of the soul. It shows us who we are, with our lights and shadows, with our strengths and weaknesses. It reveals our fears, our limiting beliefs, our thought and behavior patterns. And by showing us this, it offers us the opportunity to change, to grow, to evolve. Ask yourself, what is this situation trying to teach me? Do not seek easy answers or external culprits. Dive deep into your interior and listen to the voice of your soul. It has the answers you are looking for. Self-reflection is not an easy process. It requires courage to face our shadows, to admit our mistakes, to confront our pains. But it is an essential process for our transformation. It is through self-reflection that we learn from the past, that we heal our wounds, and that we build a lighter, freer, happier future. In the midst of the turbulence of spiritual cycles, when the waves of life seem to drown us and the storm threatens to drag us away, there is a safe refuge, a place where we can find peace, comfort, guidance, and strength. This refuge is our connection with God. It is not about religion, nor dogmas, nor empty rituals. It is about a relationship, an intimate, personal, deep relationship with the one who created us, who knows us better than we know ourselves, and who loves us unconditionally. And how do we cultivate this relationship? How do we connect with God amid chaos, pain, and confusion? Through two powerful practices, prayer and gratitude. Prayer in this context is not an obligation or a duty, but a privilege. It is the opportunity to talk to God, to open our hearts to Him, to share our joys and our sorrows, our hopes and our fears. Imagine that you have a very dear friend, someone you trust completely. You don't need formalities to talk to him, right? You can be yourself, with your qualities and your flaws, with your certainties and your doubts. You can tell him about your problems, ask for advice, vent your hurts. Prayer is exactly that. It is a sincere and authentic dialogue with God. It doesn't have to be spoken aloud, nor in a specific place. It can be in thought, in the silence of your room, in the midst of nature, or even in the middle of traffic. What matters is that you connect with Him, that you open your heart, that you trust that He is listening to you and that He cares about you. And beyond prayer, there is gratitude. Gratitude is like a garden that we cultivate in our soul. The more we water this garden with thoughts and feelings of appreciation, the more it flourishes, bringing us beauty, joy, and peace. Gratitude is not about denying problems or ignoring pain. It is about choosing to focus on what we have that is good, instead of concentrating on what we lack. It is recognizing the blessings we receive, even the small ones, and being thankful for them. When we are grateful, our energy changes, our vibration rises. We attract more good things into our lives, and most importantly, we draw closer to God. Gratitude is like a magnet that attracts the divine presence closer to us. The more grateful we are, the more we perceive God's action in our lives, the more we feel His love, the more we trust His plan. Therefore, amid spiritual cycles, seek refuge in your connection with God. Talk to Him through prayer, open your heart, share your pains and your dreams, and cultivate the garden of gratitude in your soul, watering it daily with thoughts and feelings of appreciation. Prayer and gratitude are the tools that strengthen us, guide us, and connect us with the source of all life, all peace, and all hope. They are the way to overcome spiritual cycles and reach the fullness that God has reserved for us. Identifying spiritual cycles, understanding their messages, forgiving and seeking connection with God are fundamental steps. But true transformation, breaking these repetitive patterns, requires something more. Action. Imagine that you are watching a movie that you do not like. You have seen that movie several times, know the script by heart, and know that the ending is not happy. You can continue watching passively, complaining about the story, feeling frustrated and powerless. Or you can choose to change the channel, put on a different movie, or even turn off the TV and go do something else. This is the essence of action in the context of spiritual cycles. It is not enough to recognize the patterns. You must act to change them. You need to have the courage to change the script of your life, to step out of the role of victim and take on the role of protagonist. God, in His infinite wisdom, did not create us as puppets controlled by external forces. He gave us free will, the ability to choose, to decide, to act, and He invites us to use this power to transform our reality. But how to act? How to break these cycles that seem so ingrained in our lives? The answer is one step at a time. Do not wait for a magical solution, for a radical change overnight. Start with small actions, small changes, small adjustments in your daily life. If you notice that you are always repeating the same mistakes in your relationships, start observing your behavior patterns. What do you do that contributes to the conflicts? What are your automatic reactions? How can you communicate more clearly, more assertively, more lovingly? If you face recurring financial difficulties, start organizing your bills, planning your expenses, seeking information about financial education. It may be necessary to cut unnecessary expenses, seek a new source of income, or ask for help from a professional. If you feel trapped in a cycle of negative emotions, start taking care of your mental and emotional health. Exercise, meditate, go to therapy, Seek activities that bring you joy. Surround yourself with positive people. Each small action, each small change, is a step toward freedom. It is a sign that you are taking control of your life, that you are choosing a new path, that you are trusting that God is guiding and strengthening you. And do not demand perfection from yourself. There will be moments of weakness, discouragement, and relapse. That is part of the process. The important thing is not to give up. It is to rise after each fall, learn from each mistake, and persevere on the path of transformation. Remember that you are not alone on this journey. God is with you every step of the way. He gives you the strength to overcome challenges, the wisdom to make the right decisions, and the courage to move forward, even when the path seems difficult. Breaking spiritual cycles is not an event, but a process. A process that requires courage, perseverance, and above all, action. It is the conscious choice to change the script of our lives, to step out of our comfort zone, and to walk toward the fullness that God has reserved for us. It is action that transforms intention into reality, dreams into achievements, and hope into faith. Life often resembles a symphony. There are moments of crescendo, intensity, and rapid movement. And there are moments of pause, silence, and apparent inactivity. But even in moments of silence, the music continues. The melody unfolds, the harmony builds, and the symphony moves toward its climax. And this waiting, far from being a wasted time, is a sacred time. It is a time of gestation, preparation, and maturation. It is a time when God works in us, silently, deeply, lovingly. Patience, in this context, is not resignation, nor passivity, nor conformity. It is an active virtue. It is the ability to persevere in our faith, to maintain hope, to continue acting, even when we do not see the fruits of our effort. Think of a sculptor working on his masterpiece. He does not carve the statue all at once. He spends hours, days, weeks, months, chiseling the stone, refining the details, shaping his vision. And during this process, there are moments when progress seems slow, imperceptible, even non-existent. But the sculptor knows that each blow of the chisel, no matter how small, is essential. He knows that the beauty of the final work depends on patience, dedication, and care for every detail. So it is with God and us. He is the divine sculptor, working on our souls, shaping our character, refining our faith, preparing us for our purpose. And often, this process takes time. Time for lessons to be learned, for wounds to be healed, for changes to happen from the inside out. And at the right time, in divine timing, God's plan was fulfilled. Joseph was exalted, became governor of Egypt, and saved his people from famine. Joseph's waiting was not a punishment, but a preparation. It was a time when God strengthened him, taught him, and prepared him for the mission that awaited him. Like Joseph, we are also called to trust in divine timing, to cultivate patience, and to persevere in our journey. Breaking repetitive cycles is not an instantaneous event, but a gradual process. It is like climbing a mountain. It requires effort, dedication, resilience, and above all, faith. Faith that God is with us every step of the way. Faith that He has a plan for our lives, even when we do not understand it. Faith that He is working in our favor, even when we do not see the results. Patience is the rhythm that helps us maintain the pace in this journey. It is the melody that calms us in moments of uncertainty. It is the harmony that connects us with the divine. And at the right time, at the exact hour, the symphony of our lives will reach its climax, and the beauty of God's plan will be revealed in all its fullness. Waiting, therefore, is not emptiness, but a sacred space where faith flourishes and transformation happens. Dear chosen ones, As we reach the end of this journey of reflection on spiritual cycles, I want to reinforce a central message. You are not alone. Every challenge, every obstacle, every moment of doubt or uncertainty is an opportunity for growth, learning, and drawing closer to the divine. The strength to overcome any repetitive cycle resides within you, for it is a strength that comes from God Himself. Breaking these cycles is not an instant magic trick, nor a promise of the absence of difficulties. It is a process that requires the courage to look within, the honesty to recognize the patterns, the humility to seek help, and above all, the faith to trust that God is in control, even when everything seems chaotic. If you have identified any of these cycles in your life, whether in relationships, finances, emotions, or any other area, the first step has already been taken: awareness. Now is the time to surrender this situation to God, to trust that He has a greater plan, and to act according to His guidance. Remember that action does not need to be grand or spectacular. Small changes, minor adjustments in course, small acts of forgiveness, gratitude, and self-care can have a huge impact in the long run. Every step, no matter how small it seems, is a step toward freedom, fullness, and the purpose that God has for each of you. And above all, share. Share your experiences, your struggles, your victories. Your stories can be the light that illuminates someone else's path, the encouragement that someone needs not to give up, the proof that transformation is possible. Community, mutual support, and the exchange of experiences are powerful tools on this journey. Believe in the strength that resides in you, in the ability to choose a new path, to rewrite your own story, to live the abundant life that God has planned. You have been chosen for something special, for a unique purpose, for a journey of growth and fulfillment. May this message serve as a constant reminder of God's love, His constant presence, and His transformative power. Like, share, comment, be inspired, and inspire others. The journey continues, and with each step, we become stronger, wiser, and closer to our true essence. May God abundantly bless each one of you. Until next time.